Good morning, everyone. It is Christine and Anna here for live 3 of 3. And we are so excited to be coming to you on this glorious Monday. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning. Happy Monday. We're gonna rock it today.
Yes, we are. That's the theme today is all about rocking it. And so I'm going to dive in if that sounds good with you, Anna.
Yes, absolutely. Let's go. Let's rock it.
Okay, perfect. So rocket, this theme today is now that you've realigned, if you saw the previous Instagram live on how to realign yourself in your life. And then we talked about radiance and what that means and how to magnify your radiance and really awaken that radiance. And today is about rocking it. And rocking it is really about rocking your transformation, rocking your life, bringing to life that radiant reality that you desire to have, do, and be. So today's live is going to give you some great tips and tools that you can implement immediately to see shifts and change happen real time. Because that's where change happens, right?
I have to say, yes, I have so much fun last week talking to you about all these subjects, and I hope that you guys also enjoy it. And, as you know, we are doing this as we will be doing a lot more of these tips and tools during our retreat coming up in May. And the theme for the retreat is about creating that up-level radiant reality to increase your divine connection to your mind, body, and spirit for your highest level of fulfillment and success. And Christine and I are very committed to help you achieve that goal.
Yes, and we'll do a quick plug right now. We have a couple spots left. So if you have not signed up as of yet, we want to let you know you absolutely have a little bit of time left. And we have an invitation for you at the end of our time here today to tell you how you can figure that out a little bit for yourself by having some one-on-one time with the two of us.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. And before we get there, I know that we've been talking about what do we mean by rocking it. So you want to talk about that a little bit? What is that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, rocking it is really rocking your life journey. And, we talked about this is about up leveling your life. So it's about rocking it is doing it with grace and ease. Rocking it is doing it your way. And the thing is about life and transformation is that it's about each of us owning our own unique path. And it's whatever it looks like for each of us. There is no cookie cutter here. There's no one magic formula, right? And so rocking it is really, rocking your journey, rocking your transformation, and kind of, going off of that, it's also about really being excited for and embracing where you're at and the shifts that you're making at this point in time. And being open to do that with grace and ease. Because let's face it, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but it's uncomfortable. And Anna, I was sharing with Anna right before we jumped on live with you, is that I was messaging with a client this morning, and she is making these amazing shifts. Like she sees it unfolding on a weekly, sometimes daily basis. And she's like, I know I'm shifting, but it's uncomfortable. And I'm like, just hang in there. It's like, that's part of that process is it's uncomfortable, but we can be open. We can rock our transformation when we just relax a little bit and be open to things being different.
Yeah. And, I'm thinking as you're speaking, it's not that different than exercising, right? That is uncomfortable for a little bit. And then the body conditions and the stronger you get, the easier it seems to be. And in this case, it's the same thing, right? As we know that it can be hard and it gets better as you go. And it's good to go through the toughest parts. And as you say, coming out with the grace and ease that we are thinking that would be the best, right? In this case,
yes,
at the end of it, of course. So I also thinking that rocking it is like getting up in the morning, with the excitement of your day and the things that you have planned. It is coming to a place where your energy is excited, but also grounded and relaxed. And when I think about these concepts, I always think about the Hindu, they call it actually the different parts of the three gunas. And these are the Satya, Rajas, and Tamas. And I find it very interesting. I'm just gonna explain it briefly. Rajas is the one where there's movement, there's activity, there's energy, there's passion, there's desire, there's a lot of this excitement feelings that we all experience, right? Tamas is the inertia, the inactivity. And I'm actually reading some of the words because I want to be very clear on the ones that I share. It's negative, it's apathy, it's dark, it's delusion, it's depression, it's ignorance. Other very different kind of feelings, right, on the spectrum. So Satya, which is what they talk about as the guna that we want to achieve, is balance, harmony, positive, peace, clarity, and so on and so forth, right? It's all those parts that we want to be in between all the mind and all the movement physically, and the peace where it's a little bit more on the depressive, sad, low energy side. How can we combine those two pieces, be in the center with that excitement, but still with the grounding?
Ooh.
So also when I think about this, I think about this concept that I've been telling you lately that it's becoming also one of my mantras, that I believe that peace is the new success. And that's when you find peace, right? In that Satya place.
Right.
So how can we be there, right? Christine, how can we be there between the Rajas and Tamas and find that Satya?
Yeah. Well, and I love that you're sharing this. And I'm thinking about my life as you're sharing that, right? And how I tend to get really excited about new things, and sometimes I'm not always fully grounded. And I've seen when I've taken the time to feel the excitement, to be in the energy of the new possibility, and at the same time to know, to ground myself, knowing that it can't all happen day one, right? And just the more that I am just, and we're going to talk about this, like, well, I think this comes back to what we said in the beginning. The more I'm in the present moment, the more I can, like, it's like the more impactful the moment is, but in a positive way, right? So I can see, I can catch myself. And when we're living all up here, again, we're not tapped into all of our resources. So I love that to me, that grounding is like, I'm connected with my full body. And then it's like one big ship that's navigating versus just this little part up here fluttering in the wind.
Right. No, and that's very well put, because I think the present piece is so important, because in reality, this is where we want to be acting from, right? And it's so easy to be in the past or in the future all the time. So I think, yeah, what you said and these practices, and just being very aware, right, of where am I right now? Am I on the activity? And this is why we are such a good partnership together, because yes, you go more to the excitement. I tend to go more to the less movement, less, that peace. And for me is the excitement that I always have to encourage a little bit more. So, we all have to work on one piece or another, right? And it's good to have the awareness, it's good to know it, and then coming back to the present in that place. Yeah.
Absolutely. Perfect. I love that. So that's what we mean by rocking it. And before we dive into, we have a ton of tips and suggestions and tips and tools for you. But before we dive in, I want us to have a chat about this, why it's not so easy for us to rock it. And let's name it. Let's bring it to the conversation, because I don't want to, I want to be real, let's have a real conversation here. And,
be real. Be real.
Yeah, be real. So, okay, the bottom line is most of us fear change. And well, I know I did in the beginning of my journey. I was so afraid of the unknown. And, the part of it is I saw for myself, and again, everybody, as we go through this, let's put yourself, think about how this impacts or shows up in your life, is that, especially by midlife, like we have some pretty significant, strong habits, beliefs, ways of showing up. And we have become so automatic. Just think about your morning coffee routine, maybe. Like it just happens. You don't even think about it, right? So we're trying when we
Think about it.
Go ahead.
I have to think about it if I want to change it, right?
If you want to change it, right? So the thing is, why change is hard is because we have these long-standing habits and beliefs and ways of being that become so automatic that when we start to make a conscious change, like it's physiologically going against what's in our body right now. So it's going to be, we're going to feel some friction there. And then the other thing, our beautiful ego jumps in and wants to keep us safe in what's safe. It's status quo. So we start, growing and expanding, like reaching, right? We're like reaching for new heights. And it's like, no, what are you doing?
Yes, and that's a perfect way to put it. I think fear stops us from doing so many things. It's such a limiter, in our life. And yes, absolutely guilty of that. I'm sure some people can relate to it, right? It's good to be aware so you can prevent it. As you know that your mind is going there and that habit is coming up. Can I go to the other side? Unplug from here, let's plug in here, which I like.
Right.
I think, apart from what you said, which I think is probably at the top of the list, when we tend to not be present and tend not to rock it, is the drama that some of us like to get in life, right? Like you just like to dip yourself in it sometimes. I don't know why, with relationships, with work, even managing your personal life sometimes can become very dramatic. Sometimes we let others suck our energy, or even we might neglect ourselves, feeling like we are giving the priority to everybody else. And it is just really thinking that that's the best way to go when we are walking around tired, drained, unfulfilled, and eventually leading to disease. And unfortunately, that's what I see, with a lot of people that I work with. So what do we do about this?
Yeah. Well, can I add something to that? Because I think this is like what you just voiced is a perfect reminder. And I see this too. And we've had conversations with several women that about the retreat that have voiced that exact thing. Like, you know what, I've been giving to everybody. And now I'm like, I've got to kind of cut some cords or set some boundaries in a way I haven't before. And they see the impact that in their life right now from years and years of really giving to others and not having really good boundaries. And now it's like time to reclaim. But I've been living this way for 50 years or 45 or 65, now how do I make that shift? It can seem overwhelming and like you're climbing up a mountain, but we have advice otherwise, right?
Right, because I think that and this is what I know what you say too, and this is what I tell clients, right? It's like the first step is what counts. You're here, you're listening to this, you're maybe trying one of the techniques we're going to be talking about in a minute during this week. We would love some feedback, by the way, if you do that. And that's the first step, right? I mean, you're there, you know it. The longer, obviously, it progresses, the more time it will probably take to unwind it. But yeah, first step.
You got to start somewhere. You have to take that first step. Absolutely. So let's dive in then to our plethora of tools, tips, suggestions to help you make, to rock it. Yeah, to rock it. So Anna, do you want to, I know we have this great little list in the beginning. Do you want to dive into that list?
Yeah, sure. I mean, these are just some practices that we suggest and that we recommend. You don't have to do them all, right? You can just try a couple of days or even one day. You like it and it sticks. You do it a few days in a row, a few weeks in a row, it will become a habit. If you don't like it, you don't have to. This is just for you to pick the ones that are going to work for you. That might be different, right, from everybody. So some of the ones that we recommend is just breathing. It's such a small thing to think about, right?
Like I'm already breathing. What are you telling me? Breathe. I'm already breathing.
How many times, right? The end of the day gets here and you're like, I'm breathing for the first time, right? It's like, can we just stop during the day just for a minute, just even to breathe? Meditating is another aspect, but if just breathing. You can just go little breathing in the morning, little breathing in the middle of the day, little breathing at night, and see what happens. That might change some mindsets, some perspectives. The other one is movement. We talk about this, right? It's the fastest way to change an emotion. So if you're feeling in a certain way, you want to shift it, move around, walk, dance, whatever works for you, work out. Journaling, I love journaling. I have like 6 journals, each one for a different reason. And I always like to come back to them. And it's almost like it's not almost like, it is your own wisdom in writing.
Totally. I'm
Like
the
reading
same.
the book
Yes.
that you write for somebody else. That's kind of how it feels for me, and it will feel for you as well. I stay fully present in the moment. Have we talked about this enough today? But key, staying present every time that, as you were sharing before, which I think is very important to keep in mind. And I have this saying that I heard many years ago: it's not the situation, it's how you react to it. So when you hear something and it triggers you and you're feeling, those sensations that triggers makes your body experience, stay for a second on your breath, stay for a second within yourself. Am I present? Or is this something from the past that is bringing up these feelings? As an example, right? And then observing things, very important, and not judging things are good or bad. This is a lot. And I know we say we're just going to mention it. And I'm explaining it a little bit more than that because I feel like it was necessary to just give some points.
Beautiful.
So yeah, do you have anything else?
Well, and I will say the observing and the non-judgment was a huge part of my transformation, and absolutely something, I am now the observer of my life versus just being in that actor, just kind of, going through the motions. So when you observe it, it helps you be in the present moment. And each one of these things that we talked about that you mentioned, which are all amazing, we will be using in a deeper way in the retreat. So we're giving you that high level now, but if this is, like resonating, how can I really use these? What would that look like for me? Then the retreat would be a perfect way for you to really dive in deep to experience that. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I love that list. And so we have a lot more for you. And before we dive into, and we've got a really fun synchronistic thing we're going to do with our tips here, is a reminder. And this is, again, was a perspective shift that I made, and I'm sure you made it too, is that this growth and this transformation is for our growth. The changes, the shifts that we're making is all part of, because we have set a higher vision for ourselves and for our life. And in order to get to that new vision, we need to change and grow. So when we're triggered, one of the things that I learned is then that means it's a time for me to let that old story go. Right. And so we teach, and again, this is we'll be doing this in the retreat, how you can reframe everything that's happening and see it for the beautiful growth that it's allowing you to have versus, oh, this is a problem I'm having to deal with. So that's
and that's beautifully said. And yes, I had this similar experience at one point, right, a few years ago, that I actually created a system for myself. So when I sensed that I was not present, or that I was, again, on the pieces that we were talking about, the tamas or the rajas, how could I come back to the sadhya, to that centerpiece that I wanted to be more present, more relaxed? And these are, the ideas that came at the time. The name of my company was Volar, which means to fly in English. And fly actually stood for first love yourself. So that was kind of, isn't that beautiful? I thought that it would be good to share because it's a good reminder as well. If you want to fly, if you want to rocket, first love yourself, right?
So important. So important. So I have then 5, and I pulled this out from a talk that I do, and I'm all about making radiant shifts. Like there's an unlimited number of shifts that we can make, again, on that journey of creating and bringing our radiant reality to life. So today I'm going to share 5 shifts. I call them radiant shifts, that are truly helpful, important to on your journey of bringing that new vision to life. And you're going to weave in your volar.
My 5
um,
synergistic steps with you. Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So, shift number one, radiant shift number one is, again, this is a perspective shift, is to truly see yourself as the guru of your life, that, and you are filled with your own beautiful inner wisdom that you have access to, and along with your intuition. So you access your inner wisdom through your intuition. And so see yourself as the guru of your life. Take back that responsibility for your life and for who you are.
Yes, and that's beautiful. I love being a guru. Actually, I like thinking about that in that way, and we all are, right? And that's for the V on volar, which for me, the words that I use is visualize your results, and it matches a lot, right? When you become a guru of your life, then you can actually do those visualization exercises, but just really see your life from a different place and also see your future from a different place, and visualize it in that way that it's gonna come from really what you want and not what is coming from the outside that you're supposed to do.
Exactly, that inside out, which we're so, both of us are so, believe in, and we teach that with our clients. Yeah, let's do that inside out. Okay, radiant shift number two is to be open and receptive for guidance, help, as well as for things to happen with grace and ease. Now you may say, oh, well, who wouldn't do that? But the fact is, many of us have this mindset that life is hard. We have to work hard, that it's a struggle. And I know some of those were mine back in the day. And that we have to do things for our results. And yes, we have to take action, but this is really like broadening that perspective and being open that things can come to you. Support and guidance and wisdom and progress can come to you in divine ways by tapping in, again, from the inside out, and to be open to things happening with more ease.
And that is beautiful, and that's the only way that I have experienced receiving in that true way, right? And for me, it is the O of open your body, mind, and spirit. That's the O in volar, right? And yes, it's open to receiving. And if you are in that state of mind, emotionally and mentally and physically, right, your heart opens a little more. It just happens. It's just, this area opens, your senses are more heightened, and this is what I mean with that. It's not just opening your body physically, but it's just getting deeper in the senses, deeper in the experiences that you can receive.
Yeah. I've had some fun synchronicities when I've gone places, and I've just like gone with this open energy, and I'm really grounded and I'm open, and I've had fun synchronicities happen. So I'll be talking some of those stories at the retreat.
I
Not
love
good for public.
that. I love it. I can wait.
Yeah. Okay, so radiant shift number three is to embody the belief that you are enough. And if you haven't watched the Align video, we really talked about what it means to embody your feelings and beliefs and things like that. So really, it's an embodied belief that you're enough, that you are worthy, and most importantly, that you are okay right where you are right now. Just that full acceptance, but to feel it in your body.
Beautiful.
Important.
Beautiful. And
Thank
that's
you.
the L for volar, which is light yourself up. And it's not lead yourself up, right? Because that's different. We do that with external stimulus. We're talking here about lighting from deep within. We talk about the radiance on our life, and it's about that. It's about doing the practices, doing the experiences, the things that you really give you pleasure, so that can continue lighting you up. And that's what this third radiant shift, and
Love that.
I think it's important as well to stay there.
Fantastic. Okay, radiant shift number 4 Again, this was a big, big one for me. All of these have been part of my journey, which is probably why I share and teach on it, is to accept and to believe that you don't have to have it all figured out.
Mm,
And that you don't need to know exactly how things are going to work out. So
mm.
it's being really, letting go of control of the big picture and really living in the now and seeing like, what's that next step that's coming up for me? And again, that's a shift that I made, but just first and foremost, accept you do not absolutely, it's impossible to have it all figured out. So just let that go now and see what becomes possible when you let that go.
Yes, and that's the A for act consciously. So as you are making these decisions, as you are making these shifts, continuing enhancing that connection within yourself, and is this choice the one that I really want? And I come back again to the present, and the present moment, and I come back again to what is it that your inner wisdom is telling you, and your inner guidance, and act upon that.
So
As opposed to
beautiful.
sometimes, right, like we do things without really thinking, just
Right.
because of the spur of the moment, or we don't do things because we are really not, you know, um, listening deep within. What is it that we want?
Right. It's a very different uh path of, of how we're feeling and the result, the actions and the results when you're acting consciously, for sure. Yeah. Love that. That goes so well together.
Yeah.
Which leads to our last radiant shift in our last part of Volar is believe that you can have joy in the journey. And it's not just about achieving some destination at the end. It is truly about this moment and then this moment. And it's about every present moment, and all those present moments together will get you to the destination. And it's good to look down and then come back, and really have the near term and the far term, but truly you can have joy in the journey, and just believe that for yourself, and you'll start to look at things differently.
Yes, yes. And that's the art for rebuild your body and mind, which is rebuilding, right? As you are going through the healing journey, because it is a healing journey. I believe it's a long life healing journey that we all follow, right? And as you're going through it, yes, finding that joy, finding that ease and grace that we were talking about, and ease that to really go through it in a way that you can heal yourself. I was reading this quote this morning. It was very beautiful. It was, wounded people will wound you, and healing
Mm.
people will heal you. And it's so true, right? And don't we want to be always around people that heal us? And don't you want to become that person that will heal others? So that's what rebuilding is for me, is that healing journey that we all ideally, I believe, need to take, right? In order to get the best that we can be, to be the best that we can be.
I love it. And we didn't have a quote before, so that's perfect. I love we've been ending with a quote. That's so true. That's so true. Because we ripple everything, right? So if we're in a bad mood, if we're angry, if we're pissed off at the world, if we're playing victim, that energy ripples to every person we meet, which then ripples to those people. So it's this big thing. And so when we're in this place of love and gratitude and acceptance and ownership, right? And joy, that and healing, yes, that totally ripples out. So I love it. I love it.
I'm glad you left it, because this was not prepared. I just thought of it.
No, that was so perfect, so beautiful. And so a lot that we've shared, all of them just golden nuggets. Any one of them, if you really let it land on your body, and go back and like even rewatch this more than once and see what ones really stir you up. Like something might really piss you off and you'd be like, whatever. That's the perfect place to start. I always say that's the low hanging fruit of what you can do. And really all of this, the other R for rocking it is like, you are taking responsibility for your
Mm,
life.
I love that.
When you, right, and I'm a big one to talk about that is, who better, who else than us to create that reality. And we can rock it when we take responsibility and
I like that for our ending, like rock it, but meaning that our as responsibility, you are responsible for rocking it. I love that. That's a good
Hmm.
reminder. Thank you for
There you
that.
go. You're
Yeah,
welcome. You're welcome.
that was
So
I think wonderful pieces that you guys can take, and again, just try it out and see what works and what sticks. And if you want more, yes, we have our retreat coming up very soon, and yes, we are very excited. We would love to meet with you if you're interested for just like a half an hour chat where we can give you a tour of the place. We can tell you a little bit more about what we will be doing and you can get to know us better. So I think, Christine, can they just let us know here or email us? And I know you have a link also that we
I
can.
am going to type that in. Thank you. I changed it a little bit from before. tinyurl.com for people listening / taste of retreat
Yeah,
2022.
we want to help you make the best decision for you. And if this is the right time and you feel connected with the pieces that we have been talking about, we would love to have you.
We would absolutely love to have you. We are so excited for the women that are joining us, and every one of them is just like ready to rock it. Like they are ready to not make, which is the other thing. Like, yes, there's incremental progress that we make, but we can also make quantum leaps. And even though we haven't really been using that word, like our intention for everyone at the retreat is to truly make a quantum leap in their life. And
Absolutely, because you can
we're
do the
excited for
technique for
that.
a long period of time, but when you do that on a short period of time, the changes that happen are at a very fast pace. And then you can continue with
Yes,
them, right? Because they can become a habit pretty fast if you see the real value in them. So, yeah.
definitely. Definitely. So Anna, a blast. And as always, we'll have to continue this because I'm kind of sad that our series is over. We're gonna
Let's do it. Let's
we're
do
going to be
it.
powwowing on some other fun things because this has truly been a very synchronistic, like we are rocking it together. I'm just going to say I really enjoy it.
Me too. Thank you so much. Thank
Yes, and thank you everyone for being
you.
here, whether you're watching live or the replay. We are truly grateful that you are connected to us and that you are on this path for yourself of creating your up-leveled radiant reality. Okay, bye for
Thank
now.
you, everyone. Bye.